Tonight, 12 News is your local election headquarters, the first live televised debate in the CD1 primary election, airing tonight over on WPRI 12. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Kayla Fish. 8 of the Democratic candidates took the stage at Rhode Island College tonight, answering questions posed by our own Ted Nesi and Tim White.
We have team coverage of tonight's debate. Tim White will have in-depth analysis of the candidates' responses. But first, 12 News anchor Kim Kalunian joins us now with a recap of the night. Kim?
Well, there were 8 candidates on the debate stage tonight, but one in particular found himself in the crosshairs as the 7 others put Aaron Regenberg on the defensive more often than not.
4, 3, 2, 1.
8 Democrats using their only live primetime debate appearance to try and stand out from the pack.
Support or oppose term limits for members.
The group had similar stances on gun control and women's reproductive health, and all support legalizing recreational marijuana and term limits for members of Congress. On the topic of Medicare for All, the candidates were divided on whether they would vote to abolish private health insurance, but it was the question on how they would have voted on the debt ceiling deal that led the candidates to sink their teeth into the perceived frontrunner, Aaron Regenberg.
Everyone but Mr. Regenberg is a yes on that one. And I'm curious, would you still have voted no if you were the deciding vote? In other words, if it would have killed the bill?
Absolutely. If the question we received was not how would you vote if you were the deciding factor. In that case, obviously you have to vote yes.
He tweeted that we had voted no on the debt ceiling. That's risky. And we have to think about the consequences that we're having as a country for having this fight over the debt ceiling over and over.
We need to think about the people that we represent. And let's think about SNAP programs, Social Security benefits for seniors. That is what it was in the line.
Regenberg also took criticism from his fellow Democrats about being supported by a super PAC funded by his own father-in-law.
That is a red flag. That is a clear red flag, especially because of the dishonesty that underlines it.
He's saying, and he said he fought for people. He never fought for anything in his life.
Some pretty wild and dishonest accusations. I've worked as senior policy advisor for the city of Providence. I've worked in our federal judicial courts, and I've worked as a legislator, bringing people together, building coalitions to pass major progressive policy reform that's impacted hundreds of thousands of Rhode Islanders.
And in a somewhat surprising turn, there was real disagreement amongst the candidates about a bill that would seek to make daylight saving time permanent. Some candidates said they need to study the issue a little bit more. Well, I turn things now to my colleague and debate moderator, Tim White, who's joined now by our 12 News political analyst. Tim?
I'm alongside Joe Fleming, longtime political analyst for 12 News. Joe, needless to say, this is a very packed Democratic field for Congress. Did anyone stand out tonight?
Well, I think, Tim, what stood out tonight was the fact that 7 of the candidates all went after Aaron Regenberg. They went after him at the debt ceiling. They went after him also about his father-in-law's PAC, about the $125,000. So I think they all perceive him as the front runner in this race. And they were all trying to take some shots at him tonight to try to bring his numbers down or stop his momentum. So, I mean, the candidates in turn decided that was the way they had to go in this debate, try to go after Aaron Regenberg early on.
Gabe Amo seemed to play it safe tonight. Do you think that's because he felt the others were attacking the perceived frontrunner?
Well, I think there's no question. A number of the people were attacking him, and so I think Gabe believed he did not have to go after him. He played it safe. He tried to stay with the issues as much as he can. Maybe the voters will perceive him as someone who really wants to work with issues and not go after attacks. So, I mean, that's always one of the strategies some candidates have, to stay out of the mud and just stay on the issues.
All right, briefly, Joe, how important are debates like this in a race like this?
In a race like this is very important. This is the first primetime debate for these candidates. We're 1 week out. Some of these people have not been on TV. They're probably not knowing the voters that much. Tonight was the first time that some people in the 1st congressional district had the opportunity to see these candidates and hear these candidates and make an opinion on these candidates. We know there's a lot of undecided voters at this point still.
All right, 12 News political analyst Joe Fleming. We'll see you 1 week from tonight. I'm Tim White, 12 News.